Hey, what do you know? It's Wednesday night, and this is Gear Chat. Yes, I am not John Young. That's true. I'm Jason Jones, filling in for the vacationing John Young. So I figured, let's do something really crazy while he's gone. Let's have Kris Cornolo on the show, because he's really entertaining. Kris, good to have you on the show.
The pressure's on now. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for being here. Kris is a longtime friend of mine. He's a DJ that's worked out of Minneapolis. He's owned a very successful company called Cloud9 DJ Entertainment. He's got everything from having all kinds of DJs going all over doing events for you, all the way down to you just for really focusing on shows and experiences yourself, and have been at it for quite a few years. How many years have you been?
I started doing this in '87.
'87. Wow, long time. So you're a veteran.
Yeah.
So you remember back in the days of bulbs.
Yeah, I gotta say I love how stuff has changed. It'd be a good time to not get out.
Right.
But yeah, when I first started DJing, you didn't have intelligent lighting. CD players were kind of new.
No. Well, you and I have talked many times about the love of the light organ.
Yes.
And I got to tell you that Kris gave me a present. He says, "You're gonna love this," and I'm like, "What is it?" And he gave me one of the old dimmer pack light organs that I still have to hook up in the studio here, just so that I can see it go by different frequencies. And what differentiated the old light organs from the which maybe I'll find a video for that and include it so you can actually see it, because what really differentiates that from a lot of the chase lights and things like that kind of followed later is that everything was tied to a frequency. So your lower frequency would be like channel 4, bam, 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 with the bass.
Whatever you plug in would hit with the bass beat.
And it would almost be like having a not a parametric equalizer, but
well, sort of that certain lights would respond to certain frequencies, so lights
graphic
can't live.
Equalizer, that's it.
Spectrum analyzer.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of creating that effect, or you could create that effect actually if you wanted to.
I missed that look where the lights actually really went along. They were the music.
They really went along with the music. They totally did. Although the new technology, the digital technology now with the synchronizing, even the audio synchronizing is amazing now. So now you're getting
much better.
Spin, chase, twirl, all synchronized to the music. You know what I mean? Just
flat ball change, jazz hands.
It's really everything is all right there. Catch you in that moment. So so it's really exciting to have you on the show. And tonight we're going to talk about lighting. We're going to talk about lights. And so, because I know, and I was thinking who could I talk to about lights? And I think, Corn, you are totally into lights.
I love technology and lights and shiny things.
I don't know how many nights that I've spent over in your garage with the lights off. Check this out.
Don't tell anybody about that.
It's check out these lasers, man. This is unbelievable.
You get a new cool toy, and you got to show somebody who gives a crap. My wife doesn't care.
I'm like, nice. Kris, you got to do 4th of July. You totally got to do 4th of July here.
Yeah.
So tonight, what I really want to take, and I appreciate you taking on the assignment and doing homework. So what I asked Kris to do, and you can do this, play along at home if you want, especially coming off the lighting symposium that I just recently went to.
With Bill.
With Bill. I came away going he did. He actually did. He learned lots of new things. But I came away with my wish list. I want that light, which I'll share that a little bit later on.
Where was that at, by the way? I didn't hear about that except for your post on Facebook. Symposium.
Yeah, that was at EV. Electro Voice.
Oh, so 10 feet from my house.
10 feet from your house.
Gosh.
Exactly. And it was packed. It was sold out. They have early bird tickets on sale right now that you can go online and
jump for next year?
Yep. Really reasonably priced. Yeah, and it's really cool. I mean, it's packed, especially for somebody like you.
It was great. You missed it. It was awesome. Been there.
When you have a foundation in lighting and tech and technology and different softwares and operating lights, doing DMX lighting, that sort of thing.
Yeah. DMX is awesome.
You're a big leap ahead in the game in terms of what you can pick up at the symposium. A lot of stuff in depth, and then a lot of really great overview stuff to really kind of know where you want to get in and where you want to get into. So enough of the infomercial of the symposium. It was okay. It was just okay. All right. They had free lunch.
It was pretty cool.
They had free lunch.
Free lunch on top of it?
I know, right?
Oh my gosh, I'm having a heart attack here.
The measure of all values.
Well, I sat at home watching Bold and Beautiful. This was going on.
Well, you would have got that anyway, so you could tape it. But,
I have DVR.
So the question is 3 things. So 3 fixtures. So if you could go shopping tomorrow, this is Corn's lighting shopping spree.
I get the Bill and Jason Show credit card, you're saying?
Yes. What would you buy?
Oh, there's a lot of great effects out there now, and just in the last few years, LED technology has been changing the scene of lighting. Every company seems to be just dropping what they thought they knew and scrambling to do things with LEDs, which is great for so many reasons. But to pick 3, I guess the 3 things I like right now, and one of them isn't even all that new, but the LED Messenger from American DJ is a really cool light.
All right, let's talk about that one first.
Okay.
So what do you like about the LED Messenger?
Okay. Well, the LED Messenger gives you the option to basically project a moving message display on any wall or floor, anywhere you want it. So you can put in, up to, I think, a dozen messages and save them. And this also has some pre-programmed effects too. But you can put in custom messages like last call for alcohol, now taking requests, happy holidays,
cool.
Congratulations, Steve and Mary Smith.
Yeah, and you can project them on the wall? Where would you project them?
Anywhere you want to.
Anywhere you want.
Yeah.
And can you adjust the size of the image, or is it just kind of depending on how far away you are from the wall that you're shooting?
I believe you have an iris to change the size a little bit, but it is dependent heavily upon how far from the wall you have it placed, or the floor.
One of the things I like about it is I like it's like for when it just runs sequences that aren't necessarily a message. It kind of reminds me of the old video games that we used to play at the arcade.
Yeah.
You gotta have this old video game kind of effect to it that is really kind of retro for those that remember that, and brand new for those who don't, I guess.
And the greatest thing about that is that you don't have to sit and have a message on all night long. You can have something on for a little bit of time, like get your pictures taken now at a prom, and then go back to something cool, wavy lines or stuff's moving across.
Yes, no longer taking requests.
Yeah, right. Cloud9 Entertainment or whatever your DJ name is.
To that blonde girl, no longer taking requests.
Yeah. Meet you in the parking lot in 10 minutes. You know who you are. 7 guys show up there.
Yeah. So this is really why you like the light,
The truth is out, yeah.
Truth be known.
Who needs a ride home?
Right.
I
got all the messages covered, yeah.
So I like that, and I've actually upsold that a couple times for a couple events where we just wanted some extra eye candy. I had one prom where when you first walked in, this message display was welcoming people to the prom, and the theme was let's light up the night. So right away it said, welcome whatever high school, let's light up the night.
Yeah.
Right as you walked in.
Right.
So there was more stuff when you got in.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But that adds excitement. It's like. One of the things that I love about where lighting is going, disco lighting was okay. It was great. It was a fun effect and things like that.
It was new, so it was really cool.
Yeah, but it was also limited, and especially with what's happening in weddings, for a long time, it's like more and more DJs are bringing more and more disco dance nightclub lighting, into the dance hall. I was one of them. I had a huge lighting rig.
I think we all started that way. I think.
Yeah, because it's like I just loved. The creating that effect, but what we were doing more and more is like creating a giant nightclub in the corner of when I got to Minnesota, an elegant wedding. In North Dakota, I think it helped the VFWs if you ask me. but you have this all these linens and all this elegance and stuff, and then this huge nightclub in the corner. Whereas now everything is really changing. And LEDs are changing, and also the companies that are putting out the lights are going, hey, let's do decor lighting. Let's do things that have an extraordinary value, and it's something that brides and grooms are going, we want that, we like that. We can decorate with lights, and a lot of companies are really going crazy, and it's so scalable because you could do something as simple as the Messenger, and that's going to have a great value for a whole lot of different events and applications. Or you can do something even more elaborate, the big gobos, or projecting textures and crazy stuff like that.
Liquid Sky was a really cool effect back in the day. It just kind of projected with waves and things and created an underwater kind of atmosphere. Yeah. One thing I do want to say, since you were talking about a lot of wedding stuff just now, the LED Messenger, because it has 3 different colors of LEDs, I think it looks a bit juvenile and maybe isn't great for weddings. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Or just something that you wouldn't feel comfortable putting on it. It would have to be the right wedding. It would have to be
Yeah, or
themed.
after 10 or something, you pull that out. But I
Yeah.
don't think it looks great for like
a monogram or something.
not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
But my thing, as Jason knows, lately has been doing high school dances, sweet 16s, bar and bat mitzvahs. I really enjoy lately doing more youth events, so that's why I'm gravitating to this now, because that's just something that I use more often.
Sure.
I'm not enjoying weddings so much right now, so it's
Yeah.
great for what I'm trying to do.
Right. Everyone has a niche of an area that you really like to play, you really like to play in. So that's awesome. So what's the second light on the list of the 3 lights that if you could go shopping tomorrow that you would buy and add to your show?
Okay, the second light that I think is really cool right now, and a little background before that is a lot of DJs are finding out in the last a couple 3-4 years that there's this new thing we can upsell called uplighting. Instead, we all know we have to have lights to shoot over the dance floor and create that environment, where the energy is. But a lot more brides and grooms are realizing that we can make this room look really great if we had some lights shooting up the walls. And we've seen a few different uplighting units, out in the past few years.
It's being called decor lighting more and more. So
really?
It's actually adding decor. Uplighting is the function that we do. We shoot the lights upward. But the decor lighting really kind of describes, this is what this can be. And then, at the symposium, Mike Farino was talking about, how he sells it. And then after he talks about uplighting, he says, and then dance floor lighting would be a good add-on, too. So what we would normally just well, yeah, of course we're going to bring lights. He's like, that's an add-on. That's do you want the dance floor? Well, of course we want the dance floor lighting. Well, that's another $500 or whatever. I'm
still getting past the whole, we're going to charge for everything. Color code, base price means I'll be there with nothing, but you can pay extra to have... I'll bring stuff with.
Right, I'll bring CDs. I'll come play.
Oh, you want music too?
Yeah, right.
Picky, aren't you? That's $1,000.
Right, and then if you like good music, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, I got to think about what I'm playing. Okay, there's no upcharge. Well, anyhow, with uplighting, you can do some great things.
Yeah.
You really can take a boring, dull VFW and make it look like the plaza on Park Place.
Totally.
And I've been surprised myself at some of the rooms that I've taken that looked kind of drab. I knew it looked better with uplighting, but wow. You can make a huge difference by lighting up walls, and not just behind the head table or behind the cake table, but all the walls. But the problem in the past with uplighting, for us as you guys got to set it up, is you have to run wires to each light.
Yeah.
You got to run a power cord and the DMX cord to each one, so they link and do the same color scroll. And there's been a couple of units that are wireless in the past couple of years. I think the big one I've been seeing a lot of is that big Chauvet chrome unit. But those were, they sell them in 6-packs for over 6,000, so that's over 1,000 a piece.
Big investment.
And they're heavy, and every uplight I've seen that's battery powered at least, which eliminates power cords, they're just a fixed angle. They shoot up at a certain angle, and hopefully that's good for you, because that's what you got, unless you want to shove, some wood shims under one side.
Right, to bring it some other way.
Yeah. Well, Chauvet now has what's called the Freedom Power Quad 5. And this is the first light I've seen that is not only battery powered and wireless for the DMX channels, but the head of it actually tilts. You can change the angle of the tilt and throw.
Nice.
And it is great. And they call it the Quad 5 because it's 5 LEDs, 5-watt LEDs. That total would be 25 watts of power output.
Yeah.
Now, the old $1,000 ones were 40 watt.
That's still pretty bright, though. 25 watts in LED is pretty bright.
It is, but the difference between 25 and 40 is not that much. But $1,000 versus $300 is what these are going for.
Yeah.
That's a huge discount off what they were charging for a light that's comparably as bright and has a lot more capability for customizing with the angle changing.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great light. If you want to do uplighting, that'd be my choice.
Well, especially if you're gonna dive in. If you're just gonna I'm gonna dive in right now, but you don't want to spend $6,000. You want to spend $2,000 or $3,000, to get a good set, so you can just got some good tools to work with.
And if you're gonna really do uplighting, you can't just light 2 lights shooting up. You really have to have a dozen or 20.
You got to really do it. Yeah, a little sprinkle just isn't really going to cut it.
Yeah.
Hey, I shined my one light over there.
I changed the color of that pillar right there.
Yeah, right. Doesn't that look nice? That's your pink pillar, and it matches your bridesmaid's dress.
The rest are all white and dark, but how many pillars we got in this room? Oh man.
No, exactly. I mean that is so part of the whole thing. So you've got you've got to affect the whole room, or you've got to be working with the whole room. And we talk about that in the entertainment experience when we talk about staging, and that it's like, don't just go splash color on a wall just to splash color on the wall. I mean, you want to use light to accentuate things in the room, to hide things in the room. So like, it's like you want to still use the same kind of intentionality and be intentional about it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, because you could end up just, instead of it's just kind of a blah room, it's now a room with lighting just kind of shot all over the place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there, it's another color kind of thing. And when it could be like, well, I mean, that's okay, it's different. Or it's like, wow, now it's something intentional. It's something like, this is cool. This is, it's something definable, something a person would try to describe.
It can be a game changer if you plan ahead and do it right and really do your homework as far as what's going to be conclusive and fill the whole room. People look around.
Absolutely. Oh,
they don't just look one way. They look around the room and they roam. So you really got to have the whole room on the same page.
Exactly. All right, so I'm ready. Number 3.
Drum roll,
please. Oh. The third favorite, most exciting thing that you would go out and buy tomorrow.
Okay, my third choice is I've seen a lot of different facades, backdrops, LED curtains, panels, things that provide just a nice backdrop behind a DJ. And most of what I've been seeing are just basic curtains where the lights might slowly change color.
Yeah, they kind of like fade in and out colors.
Yeah. Or they might scroll a little bit. Or to get the really cool effects, you got to buy those modular panels. And each panel can be, a couple $100, 12 by 12. So you need
Is that like the big LED screen where you can put images up and all that sort of stuff?
Oh, there's some panels that do like full video.
Yeah.
But as far as just having some neat patterns and spectrum analyzer EQ things and things
the suspense is killing me. What is it?
This is the Chauvet Motion Drape LED.
Wow.
It's not panels. You don't have to put together, 20 different panels to create a large, really intricate patterned unit. It's just, you just roll out the one drape. I think it's like 10 by 16. It's a good size. Comes with the controller.
Yeah.
And this does some pretty amazing stuff. It's got some great patterns, 6 different colors, and it's $600.
Wow. Sound responsive?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, right? It's like, that goes without saying, right? It's like, if it doesn't have that, why did you bother? Not finished. Go back to the factory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. So what is it you like about that versus like the older, the Twinkle, the old Twinkle ones? Just because it does more patterns and things?
Well, $600 usually would get you something that it's got some little speckled lights on it. Maybe they'll change color.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much. Or if you want, effects similar to what this thing does, you're looking at the modular panels where you need, again, if you want to have something that's, 16 by 10, let's say.
Right.
Well, we need 4 times 5 panels. We need 20 panels at $300 a piece.
Right.
You got to put them all together, wire each one up. You're talking a lot of setup time. You're talking a lot of size and bulk because they're not like a drape where you can just roll it up. So this unit at $500 is one piece. You clip it on your truss, plug it in, and it does all kinds of cool stuff.
How would you use it? Will you use this for both weddings and schools?
I think so, because you control the patterns. So maybe at the beginning of the night of the wedding, you just want maybe just like basic twinkle lights. You want to start off smooth. But when you get into a later in the night or a high school event or youth event, when you want to crank it up a notch, you have the ability to do that. And it comes with the controller again, so you don't have to buy a controller extra, like so many lights. So many lights. They're capable of doing a lot of great stuff.
Right.
If you buy the controller separately, or if you're a DMX master, this is DMX, the color curtain, but you don't have to use anything but their controller, and you limited control, but still decent control.
Right, or you could use like a Show Express or something like that and really go crazy with it.
If you want to spend more program stuff.
To really get it all together.
And it's capable of doing that.
To create something cohesive. That is awesome. That's really cool. Thanks for sharing your top 3 items. I have one. Because if I did 3, this show would go on forever. So the one that I'm most excited about, and I hope I haven't talked about this on every single show I've done so far. Maybe I have. But anyway, it was what I was inspired by at the Lighting Symposium. It's the Intimidator by Chauvet. It's a white moving head. And the thing is like what I want to do with these. Now, I'm not so excited about, they do amazing things on the dance floor. You know what I mean? As far as moving around and doing different patterns and stuff like that. and creating effects. They'll even like you can shoot them on the ceiling and create that kind of water effect, like you talked about.
Yeah.
And create that. Or
There's 3 different ones though.
Like
isn't there?
a bliss. There are, but in this one this is the white 75 watt.
Yeah.
Okay. And so because and those effects are great. That's all terrific. But that's not what I'm really excited about. What I'm excited about is that with being able to just when I saw what Show Express could do, and you put that together. I could set up this spot to basically follow all the action all night long. You know, if there's an activity or a game, the spotlight is on me and the participants.
Yeah.
When they're doing their toasts, their speeches, the spotlight is on them. The rest of the room is dim, spotlight is on them. It makes such a huge difference. And with 75 watts, you can beam that thing across the room.
That's perfect for an LED.
It has iris control. So it's not just going to be this giant spot across the room. We can actually taper it down so that it actually spots the action of where it's at. So I can both pre-program, we can follow people as they come in. I mean, that's just huge. And then the versatility of it is that they say, of course we want to buy the monogram.
Oh, yeah.
So we have this spot, we have 2 of them, one sitting up here on in each side of the screen, because I do multimedia. And so when they're not being in use, then they're, like one of them is a monogram on the dance floor. And then when they're used, they go in use, and then they go back to being a monogram. Oh, the dance starts, and we do like water on the ceiling or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you can create all these scenes with 2 fixtures.
Very versatile.
2 fixtures, really versatile, really smart, really intelligent. I mean, it's like and an extraordinary value with like how much you can get out of just them. I mean, simple setup, simple takedown. I don't have a big truss. I don't have tons of fixtures. I have these 2 that have very specific purposes. All throughout the night, doing all different kinds of moves and different kinds of things. So
it's nice to have a couple of fixtures that can perform a variety of duties.
Yeah,
It limits the amount of fixtures you got to bring with.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and master.
Yeah.
There's a learning curve with all
Just
that.
learn this one.
With all that too. So
yeah,
awesome. So that's my favorite. That's on top of my wish list. So my birthday is coming up in about 10 months.
Mine's in 10 minutes.
It is in 10 minutes. Oh my gosh.
Something like that.
I didn't even get you anything.
I didn't get you anything either.
Oh, well. Then we're even. I guess it's the thought
Deal.
that counts, right?
Yeah.
Not. Why do people say it's the thought that counts?
It's a nice way to get out of it.
I guess that's...
Tell Kelly that when I get...
Right. Kelly's my wife he's talking about. So anyway, that is Gear Chat tonight. Kris Cornolo, thanks so much for being on the show. It was great to have you on here and talk about your favorite fixtures, favorite lights, and we'll have to come back and do it again. This is fun.
Well, thanks for having me.
You bet.
Bye, everybody.